Hello guys, this is Doran's Movies, and today I'll be giving you the summary of the Illidan novel, giving you the most important information about the book in the shortest amount of time possible. So, without further ado, let's get into the lore. During the second invasion of the Burning Legion, Illidan is freed by Tyrande in order to help them combat the demons. Previously, he was imprisoned 10,000 years ago for creating a new Well of Eternity and feigning allegiance with the Legion, which granted him the title Betrayer. He initially does help the Night Elves, but due to his long imprisonment, he owes nothing to his people. Eventually, Illidan splits and absorbs the skull of Gul'dan, which grants him immense power and the memories of the fallen warlock, and after that he travels to Outland. While there, he allies with the Naga and their leader Lady Vash, and the Blood Elves and their leader Kil'jaeden. During this time, he was kind of torn between worlds. He was forced to serve Kil'jaeden, but at the same time he despised the Burning Legion. So his goal of going to Outland was to establish a stronghold and form a defense against Kil'jaeden. His first step is to close the Legion portals in Outland that are already there and take over the world by defeating the current leader, the Pit Lord Nathreza, and taking his base, the Black Temple. By allying with Akama and his Broken Draenei, he is successful, and without too much effort he becomes the new Lord of Outland. However, Akama was not happy with this, as he expected the Black Temple to be returned to his people, as it was once the sacred temple of Karabor before the demons came. Illidan promised him that he will get it in due time, but currently he had to deal with much more important issues such as defying the Burning Legion and escaping Kil'jaeden. Unfortunately though, Kil'jaeden tracks him down and confronts him, reading his mind. Illidan, knowing this, warded his most secret plans far from his reach inside his brain, although he was forced to serve him by fighting the Lich King back on Azeroth. He fails this mission and returns to Outland, determined now more than ever to establish a big defense, as he knew that it was only a matter of time before he incurred the wrath of Kil'jaeden again. He uses the captured Pit Lord Nathreza to create an even stronger Fel Orc army, and soon enough he has a pretty formidable force on Outland. In the meantime, while this is happening, Maiev Shadowsong, his jailer for 10,000 years, is also in Outland, fanatically dedicated to hunting him down. Her watchers are in very bad shape from constant fighting and bad conditions, but hope comes as she's contacted by Akama, who said he could help her get Illidan. Akama at this point is not very happy with the betrayer, and he feels that his people will never get the temple, so he forms a relationship with Maiev, giving her information on Illidan's whereabouts. Meanwhile, Illidan is hard at work at establishing a defense and a force, and the center of this entire thing are the Demon Hunters. Many recruits show up from unknown places, Blood Elves and the Night Elves, who are ready to fight the Burning Legion. The protagonist of them in the novel is a Night Elf named Vandel, whose family was murdered by demons, and ever since then he had been seeking Illidan. We learn that the Demon Hunter initiation is extremely brutal, and only 1 out of the 5 initiates survive. At first, they defeat a demon, eat his heart, and drink his blood, trapping his essence inside them. Later on they're tattooed and they also get a vision that a very few people do. They see the Burning Legion destroying world after world, seeing no end to it. The vision is so strong that Vandel, even when closing his eyes, can't seem to stop it, so he resorts to ripping his very own eyes out. Initially he's blind, but later his vision would be better than it ever was, being able to see almost as before, but also sense magic and demons. This was the ritual process, but the process after they become demon hunters is the hardest, as most of the initiates lose their mind or commit suicide, but Vandel managed to get through it. Illidan's best weapon are the demon hunters, and he trains them consistently, with every moment being of the essence. Some months later, Illidan detaches his spirit from his body and travels directly into the twisting nether. There he encounters worlds completely destroyed, until eventually he reaches what he was looking for, the world of Nathreza, the home of the Nathreza. He marks the world and returns to his body, and as he returns, he senses that Akama is working against him, and he detaches the evil from Akama's mind in a form of a shade that he could manipulate him with, and also trick Maiev in the end. Akama then contacts Maiev and tells her that Illidan will be preparing this big ritual where he will be vulnerable, and she brings her entire force that she have been recruiting for years on the world of Outland. As expected, this turns out to be a trap, and everyone but Maiev is slaughtered, and their souls are siphoned in order to power up an immense portal. Maiev is then put into prison, and the biggest portal there ever was is opened in Outland, and it leads directly into the homeworld of the Dreadlords. Illidan, together with his demon hunters, goes through and completely destroys the initial demonic defense. He then gets inside the city into the archive that contains all the information about the Burning Legion, every world they destroyed, every race they exterminated, and their location and date. He only takes the disc that mentions Argus and shatters the entire archive, casting all this immense information into oblivion. Then he escapes, and as he does, a giant ripple is created that gave Nathreza about the same fate as Draenor had received, almost destroying the entire planet. 100 times more demons are killed than the thousands the demon hunters have already slaughtered, and this was permanent as it is inside the twisting nether, so all demons that died that day died forever. Illidan is victorious, and for the first time in many millennia, the Burning Legion is the one to get invaded. As he gets back to Outland, he directs his demon hunters on various missions, smaller and bigger, to disrupt the Burning Legion. However, eventually a Doomguard called Cruel shows up and confronts Illidan and his demon hunters. He is very powerful, but Illidan eventually channels a spell and hurts him, forcing him to retreat. Later, Cruel opens a portal to Azeroth, and countless demons start pouring into it. Illidan and his demon hunters watch on the hill as the forces of Azeroth push through and repel the demons, taking more and more ground. Unfortunately, Cruel plans to flank, which would mean that the Azerothians would most likely be fully defeated. So Illidan and his demon hunters prevent this by killing Cruel and his force, saving the invading forces. He knew that he couldn't reason because anyone from Azeroth would hate him, but at least he thought they would be a distraction for the Legion while he puts his bigger plans into action. He then goes to the throne of Kil'jaeden and once again splits his spirit from his body and travels into the twisting nether, eventually reaching Argus. He finally sees the world and Kil'jaeden, but is almost captured by Kil'jaeden until an unknown voice, that of the light, saves him and returns him to his form. He now realizes that he needs to invade Argus and is fully and completely dedicated to it. Unfortunately though, the Horde and the Alliance go against his expectations and start attacking his forces, firstly destroying Lady Vash's mission and later the Hellfire Citadel and Magteridon. This at one point was crucial to his operation on Outland, but Illidan just didn't care anymore. He didn't care about Outland or any world for that matter, because he knew that if he doesn't invade the Burning Legion, all worlds will be destroyed by the Legion sooner or later. His first part of the new plan is to go to Auchinleon and harvest the souls of the dead Draenei in order to power up the portal. Akama completely despises this decision, and this leads to his ultimate defection that would force him to free Maiev. Later, Illidan once again detaches himself and travels to Argus in order to create a point for the portal, but all of a sudden his spirit gets captured by an unknown force. Luckily for him, it wasn't Kil'jaeden, but instead it was an Elder Naru who tells him that he will be the hero of the light in the battle against the void, and that his role will be crucial in the future, but a price will be paid. He then returns to his body and is completely shocked about this experience, but nevertheless he continues on his work with the portal, as now the Azeroth forces started attacking the Black Temple directly. In his battle against time, he manages to open a portal and send his demon hunters, while one of them, Vandel, didn't manage to reach it and was knocked out in a battle against Maiev, who was hungry for Illidan's blood. Eventually, the invaders push through to Illidan's chamber and face him, as he didn't manage to escape because he was holding the portal for the demon hunters. A huge battle ensues, but at the time, with the help of Maiev and Akama and Illidan being weakened by creating the portal, he is finally slain. The attackers cheer in their victory, while Wendell wakes up from the blow and hears the voice of Illidan telling him to be prepared. He doesn't know where it is coming from, but he feels like his spirit is still somehow out there. Currently, the fate of the remaining demon hunters is uncertain as they walk through the portal. However, Wendell travels into the night as the only remaining demon hunter. Alright, and that is all I have for this video. Now do leave your thoughts and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and also like the video as it really helps out and keeps all the videos going. Thanks a lot for taking the time out of the day to watch this video, and see you next time.